Good morning, student. Now we are today going to continue our lesson number 4, wildlife and vegetation. Until now, I have been explaining to you the ecosystem and the different kinds of the biomes. What is the meaning of biome and what are the things are including inside into the in the biome that also we have talked. And afterwards, when I have explained to you the different forest, that is including the evergreen forest and deciduous forest. In that term we have talked the different types of the forest. And now today you are going to learn about the tundra vegetation. Tundra means which is a very cold area, so especially the north of the Arctic Circle and northern part of the Canada, Alaska, southern Greenland and the northern part of Eurasia. It means where there is the Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle, there we are getting the tundra vegetation. So you have to understand tundra means which is a very cold area. Okay, so some kinds of mosses we are it is growing at that area only. Okay, so not other. So according to height, so which is it means we can understand about it, which is the lowlands, then afterwards highlands and mountains peak. It means according to height the vegetation variety is changing in the tundra vegetation. So okay, so now we are talking about the natural vegetation of India. So what are the natural vegetation of India? You are going to learn about it. First of all, the tropical evergreen forest. So with the name we can understand which are remaining green, and it is growing. The 200 centimeter rainfall is there, especially the parts of West Bengal and Odisha, the northeastern states, the western slopes of Western Ghats and the Andaman and Nicobar Island. Important trees are mahogany, cinchona, ebony and rosewood. They yield hardwoods. About this only, student, we have learned in the terms of the world side forest also. So same thing is there, especially the characteristics of tropical evergreen forest, that is the hardwoods are there, and mahogany, ebony, cinchona, rosewood, they are the main trees which is included in tropical evergreen forest. And other the portions which we have talked here, especially the Bengal, Odisha, the western slope of Western Ghats, Andaman Nicobar, this we can understand. I hope so you are aware about the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Okay, so like this one India map is there. Okay, so sorry, so when we are having India map like this downside, so here this is the western side, so Western Ghat, and this is the Eastern Ghats. Okay, so Western Ghats slopes area, this we are finding the tropical evergreen forest. Another one is a tropical deciduous forest. They these terms also you are aware, where the rain is the 75 to 200 centimeter, especially northern plains peninsular India. This okay, the plains and peninsular India. Peninsular India also you are aware, this is peninsular. Okay, this area is known as the peninsular area. Okay, and this is plains area. This it means mostly the India is covered with the deciduous forest. Okay, and economically they are the valuable, like the sandalwood, salt, teak, shishamni, bamboo, mango. So these all are hardwood trees, but they are less dense than the evergreen forest, and in the commercial purpose they are more beneficial for the evergreen forest. Then about the thorn forest, when you are aware, especially which part is covering the Rajasthan area. Okay, Gujarat, Punjab, Rajasthan, dry part of the Uttar Pradesh and the Maharashtra and Deccan Plateau, there we can find the thorn forest. So like the kikar, khazur and babul, it okay, see these all the important trees of the thorn forest. Then tidal forest, it means where is it, they are known also mangrove forest. Okay, especially the deltas of the Sundarban, which is built by made of the Ganga Brahmaputra deltas, known as the Sundarban, the largest delta in the world. So there we are getting the this tidal forest. Okay, so now like other rivers also, like the Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kavari also, these trees we are finding along these rivers also. Next one is the mountain forest, and so where the mountainous area, okay, where the mountainous area we are finding the mountain forest. Okay, so like just I have explained to you the area of like the which are the altitude you are aware, no, height. Okay, so where is the 1800 centimeter height is there, then 3000, then more than 3000. So accordingly the height Okay, when you are moving in the it means increasing in the altitude when it is increasing in the altitude, so trees are finding the different way. Okay, so these are the different kinds of trees of India and different parts it is finding. Now next point is the student conservation of the wildlife or the forest. It is our duty to save the trees. If we cut the trees, so it will surely harm us. And for the purpose of the to save and protect the environment, it's a duty to protect the forest. And so not only this is a duty of the common person, it is a duty of the government, and not only the government, it is a duty of the common person also. So that's why the different kinds of the awareness programs which is held by like the One Mahotsav, social forestry, it is increasing by, it is from the government side. Okay, so individually also we supposed to plant more and more tree. And in the term of this one, according to it means the large discourage the deforestation and large scale afforestation, the tree plantation should be increased. The National Forestry Action Program aims at the increasing the forest cover. Okay, so this is the main aim of the National Forest Action Program, how to increase and how to restriction on the quarrying and mining the old, avoid removal of the forest in the cover. Okay, so carrying and mining it means the process when we are taking the minerals from the soil. It is also one of the reason to cutting the trees and spoiling the fertile layer of the soil. So like this way, it is our individual and the common and the personal, we can say the joint program participants to encourage the different programs or which is initiated by the government also, like the joint forestry. Just we have talked about the National Forestry Action Program also. So student, by this one we we want to explain the portion how we can conserve the wildlife as well as the plant life. First of all, till then we will not save the plant life. Okay, the wildlife can't be safe, the plant life can't be safe. So in this way we can understand. Okay, so by this one different programs are there. Afterwards when you are having the portion that is the wildlife, so whoever, it means wildlife is depending on the plant life only. So whatever, how their habitat is there, plants, animals, so whatever is there which is living and surviving in the wild, so we can include the wildlife. So especially if you are talking about the wildlife, so that is including the different kinds of the animals. Okay, and the different kinds of uh, the creatures are there. Some are big animals, some are small one, but they are living. So if you talk about that in the term of different equatorial forest, okay, so there are different kinds of the animals are finding here. This all we can see, I'm just putting the underline. So this all kinds of the animals can find here. If you go to the Australia, so here there are also the different kinds of the animals are finding. If you go to Europe, so here you will having the polar bear range. So there are different kinds of animals which I have included here. If you go to the Arctic circles, so Arctic foxes and polar bears are found in North America. And if you go to South America, the richest in the wildlife, it has a variety of monkeys, iguanas, pumas. Okay, so like these different kinds of anacondas, different kinds. If it, that's why I didn't include in my reading or explanation. I just want to explain you student this portion. It means wherever we'll go, the different portion of the world, that is including the equatorial forest, or that may be the European place, or that may be the Arctic circles, or maybe the South America. So there is a different variety of animals and the species. If you talk about the India, so India is also having the different varieties of wildlife. Okay, especially these places are very some places are very famous for the different kinds of the wildlife. Okay, like if you are talking about the lions, so lions are finding in India in the Gir. This is national park is there. Okay, so by this one you can understand wildlife sanctuary is the Gir. So Gir National Park is there where the uh, we are having the lions are there. Okay, so by the Sundarban also, Manas is there. So these are Dudhwa in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so we are having different kinds of the national parks wildlife sanctuaries and tiger project. And student, these you have to understand, these are only these kinds of the reserve wildlife sanctuaries in the India. These are the protective place for wildlife, and by this one they we can protect them. One time came here when there were having the very less numbers of the lions, but the numbers of lions is increasing now, especially the Gir is very famous for this one. Other places also very famous for the other kinds of the animals. Okay, so we can just find here, just I explained to you, Gir forest of Gujarat. The one third rhinoceros are found in the marshy forest, Assam, and the forest of West Bengal. Okay, so Assam, West Bengal, they are rhinos. They are famous for the rhinoceros. Then Himalayas, it is the ordinary leopards. Okay, which are found all over the India. Gaur and the Indian bisons in the peninsular region. It means we can find out different kinds of the snakes, crocodiles, alligators, different kinds of the places, the peacocks, parrots, pigeons, duck, they are found in different places. It means we can understand India has more than 2000 species and subspecies of the bird. Migratory birds such as the egrets, herons, storks. So these are the different kinds of birds which are just migrating birds. Okay, from the different countries they are coming here. So student, in this way we can understand about this one. Now why the importance is the conservation of the wildlife. So why the man has killed forest for the cultivation and for the industrialization and so different purposes. So we are just putting the animals in the danger way. Some they have become extinct. Extinct means totally disappear. There is no existence of them, of there now on the earth surface. And some they become the endangered. Endangered means which are going to be disappear. So these two words you have to understand. Extinct means which is totally disappeared. There is no any kind of the symbol of them. They are, maybe they were the any kind of creature of the earth. But endangered means they are also going to be extinct if you will not save and protect them. So that's why the Indian government have built different kinds of the bioreserves, national parks, okay, wildlife sanctuaries to protect them. Now some of the things we can understand here is when, like 1972, okay, like 1972, this many programs protecting habits, it means Wildlife Protection Act was implemented in 1972. Okay, 1972 when the Wildlife Protection Act was implemented. So according to this one, what is the aim of this program? This aim of the program, the banning hunting, giving legal protection to habitats and restricting trade in wildlife. So 1972, this act, when this act formed, afterwards nobody can kill any kinds of animals which is in the reserve form of government now. Especially like the tiger, hangur, rhinoceros, Asiatic lions and some crocodile species, they were totally banned because they were going to extinct only. Another one also is to a National Wildlife Action Program aims at conservation of wildlife. The Worldwide Fund for Nature, WWF, Worldwide Fund for Nature. This is also the one kind of international organization to promote wildlife conservation. So WWF was established in 1961. Okay, so it means the meaning of this one, to understand this all kinds of things, this their aim is to conserve and to protect which whatever is in the category of endangered or which is left. Okay, so by this one student, this is good news. Many of, like I have explained to the lions, their number have increased. This is the total this attempt done by, it means that they have, it is from the government side only. At the same time it's an individual responsibility also. So here you can understand, this is showing the national park, the green one color, the star one the wildlife sanctuaries and tiger projects and bird sanctuaries. So by this one we can understand which are, some are very famous like the Corbett National Park in the Uttarakhand, Okay, this is the oldest national park in our country. Dudhwa in the Lakhimpur Kheri, which is located in the Lakhimpur, which is in the UP. Bharatpur, Ranthambore, this is in the Rajasthan. Okay, and now Kanha National Park, Madhya Pradesh, like Manas in Assam. Okay, and Sundarban, West Bengal, and so others are there. So these all are here to protect the wildlife and all kinds of the birds, including their big and small species animals are there. So student, in this way we can understand it's a human duty to protect this wildlife, because without them we can't be able to do such of the things without the plants and the wildlife. Okay, mostly we are depending on them. So student, we can go through the chapter today whatever I have explained to you. Okay, so by this one, whatever which kinds of forests are found in the India, you can go through, and how it is important to protect the wildlife, it's also you can take in a good way. So for today this much. Thank you.